This morning I had I don't know if it was an encounter, but I had this, when we were worshiping in first service this morning, those of you who weren't here, good thing Jesus didn't show up, huh? You'd be reading those books left behind. I'm sorry, it was my sense of humor. But when we were worshiping, I just felt like Isaiah 6 came to my mind. And I really want to talk a little bit about tonight and just see where we go. So turn to Isaiah chapter 6. I actually read some of this morning in the prayer time. Isaiah chapter 6, and we're just going to start from verse 1. In the year of King Uzziah's death, I saw the Lord sitting on a throne, lofty and exalted, with the train of his robe filling the temple. Seraphim stood above him, and each having 6 wings. With 2 he covered his face, with 2 he covered his feet, with 2 he flew. And he called out one to the other and said, Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts. The whole earth is full of his glory. And the foundations of the threshold trembled at the voice of him who called out while the temple was filling with smoke. And he said, verse 5. Then I said, speaking of Isaiah, then I said, woe is me, for I am a man ruined, because I'm a man of unclean lips, and I live among a people of unclean lips, for my eyes have seen the King of the Lord of hosts. And then one of the serpents flew to me with a burning coal in his hand, and he touched, which he had taken from the altar with tongs. And he touched my mouth with it and said, behold, this has touched your lips, and your iniquity is taken away, and your sin is forgiven. Then I heard the voice of the Lord saying, whom shall I send, and who will go for us? Then I said, here I am. Send me. Everybody say, here I am. Send me. There's lots of things that come to my mind as we were reading, even this morning, just during the prayer time when we were praying into these verses. And Isaiah, he sees the Lord, and immediately he sees his own sin and his weakness. And I was thinking about, and he said, here's his response. Oh no, I'm a man of unclean lips, and his second part of his response is also telling, and I live among people with unclean lips. Like I have issues, and I live with people with issues. I don't know, some of you are laughing. It's a serious passage of Scripture. Choose where you laugh if you don't mind. Maybe I'll lift my finger when I'm being funny, and then when I'm not, You know, there's the critical spirit that finds fault in people. And in fact, Paul said that to Timothy, when he wrote to Timothy, he said, in the last days there'll be fault finders. And there are people like that. I think that sometimes it's kind of, I don't know if it's the misery loves company or if it's I feel better about myself when I find something wrong with you kind of syndrome. But there's that kind of spirit. But I don't think that's the spirit that Isaiah is speaking out of. I think he sees the Lord and he suddenly realizes that out of the presence of a holy God, the angels around the Lord are singing, holy, holy, holy. And I think the revelation that Isaiah receives is that the Lord is so holy. And when he sees how holy the Lord is, he suddenly realizes that he doesn't measure up. And he suddenly, I'm just, now this is a little subjective, of course, but then maybe he has this thought of the people that, like, does anyone measure up that I know? And he has this, no, I actually live among people who don't measure up. Like, none of us measure up. Like, it's hopeless. And maybe he feels a sense of hopelessness, that he's overcome with hopelessness in the sense that the Lord is so holy and he's so unworthy to even be in his presence, and he doesn't actually have a friend who is worthy of being in his presence.